It's a short road. It's late. We should take a shortcut, I thought, and turn left, trying desperately to see the road through the wall of rain in the pitch darkness. I had never taken this route to the village before, though it was much shorter than usual. The thing is, every time I left my grandmother's house, she used to implore me not to take the shortcut, but she did not explain why. So far I had obeyed the strict injunction, but now it had been broken. I felt uncomfortable, but I forced myself to pull myself together. 20 minutes into the drive, there was still no village in sight, though by my calculations I should have arrived 10 minutes ago. There were no houses, no people, just a black abyss ahead of me. The light from the headlights cut through the darkness no more than a few yards. Nervous, I took the navigator out of my bag and looked where I was. It turned out to be another 2 kilometers to the village. Determined to check the speedometer on arrival for accuracy, I drove on. But 10 minutes later the picture in the window remained the same. A black veil behind the rain with nothing else in it. I took out the navigator again, because I thought I was lost. But when I looked at it, I was horrified. The GPS showed that I hadn't moved a meter, and the distance to the village was still the same 2 kilometers. I thought the gadget was broken, but after turning it in my hands I understood that it was working properly because it showed the right direction. Fear began to creep into my soul when I remembered my grandmother's warning about not taking shortcuts, but I decided to keep going and get out of this strange place at all costs. I had been driving for about an hour. The navigator stubbornly stood at 2.01 kilometers to destination and didn't move an inch. It was getting cold. The rain was turning into a downpour. Suddenly, I hit the brakes hard and hit my head on the steering wheel. "They're crazy!" I shouted angrily and jumped out of the car. After walking a few paces, however, I realized that there was no one in front of the car, although I had definitely seen a group of people running across the road almost hit me a few seconds earlier. After standing there for a minute, I finally realized that I was hallucinating and ran to the car. I continued to drive forward, trying not to look in the mirrors. As the hour and a half passed after the turn at the fork, I began to realize that it was all pointless. The dot on the navigator remained in place. No signs of the village lights from the windows, street lights, people, houses, buildings were visible outside the window. I stubbornly continued to drive into the abyss of darkness, slowly losing hope of getting out of here. There was still half an hour's worth of gasoline left. What would happen when it ran out? I was afraid to imagine. I was driving, and all of a sudden I noticed some movement in the rear mirror. I looked more closely. It was the people who had nearly been run over by me. At first I wanted to stop and already pressed the brake pedal, as suddenly I felt cold. How could it be that the car was moving at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour and the people running after it? Looking more closely, I saw that they were not running at all, but gliding over the ground. Mad with fear, I pressed the gas to the floor, wishing only one thing: to get away from the pursuers. I glanced in the mirror. They had almost caught up with me. Another couple of meters, and we'll touch the car, and this did not bode well. 80 kilometers an hour, 90 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour. I looked back, they were gone. Phew, I exhaled with relief. Got away. Then another good news awaited me. The point on the navigator had finally moved, and now showed 1.5 kilometers to my destination. I looked ahead. In the distance there was a small dot from our nice lantern, located near the gate. The darkness somehow became less overwhelming all at once, and in a couple of minutes I was at my grandmother's house. I still wondered what had happened that night. What was it? Did I fall into some kind of space-time hole? Who were these creatures gliding over the ground? And why did they want to catch up with me? The answer was left there, on the short road.